Listen, Thanksgiving is almost here and I know you're still trying to figure out your menu. Don't worry, let Unc walk you through what I'm cooking so you can grab some ideas that actually work. And as a little gift, I convinced my mom to show y'all her secret collard greens recipe. Watch this. Listen, shawty, if your Thanksgiving turkey came through the drive-thru window and not your oven, as an uncle, I gotta throw a flag on the play. Let Unc show you how simple it is to do the right way. We're starting with that top of the line brine. Real flavor that actually gets inside the bird and not just sprayed on top. I even add a little bit of hot sauce. I like mine to be a little Cajun-y. Now while that bird's brining, we're chopping up some onions, some celery, some carrots, old school aromatics. Keep it simple. Those go straight to the bottom of the pan. That's how you build that flavor, because we're going to make a gravy a little bit later. Now for the fun part, I hit that turkey inside and out with that dirty bird rub for that depth. That's 13 herbs and spices all in one bottle. Then finish it with that Delta dust for that Cajun color and kick. That's where the magic happens. You can get all these seasonings from UncleDibs.com. Stuff the inside of that turkey with some onion and garlic, and then go ahead and add a little bit of chicken broth to the bottom of that pan. That's going to keep it nice and juicy. This is a 13-pound bird, so roast that thing at 325 for about 3 hours. In the last half hour, remove the foil and crank it up to 425 to get that perfect color. Once the turkey's done, do not throw out those drippings. Skim the fat, whisk with flour, and make your smooth, rich gravy. No seasoning needed, all that flavor is already built in. Now this is the payoff. That skin's nice and golden brown, inside's nice and juicy, and every slice tells you it came from the kitchen and not from the drive-thru. Get this full recipe on my site and send it to somebody that's cooking their first turkey this year.
That's good, shorty.
Would you believe me if I told you this fall off the bone turkey was made in a bag? Watch this. First, we need to chop up our veggies: carrots, celery, and onion. Then it's time for that turkey. In a small bowl, melt 1 stick of butter. Then we gotta add that flavor. I'm using that dirty bird rub, 13 herbs and spices all in one bottle. Get it from UncleDibs.com. Give that a mix, and then go ahead and slather it down all over your turkey. Don't be shy, y'all. Get up under that skin, get up on them legs, them wings. Every piece you're gonna eat, go ahead and give it a touch. Stuff your bird with some aromatics like thyme, rosemary, lemon, and garlic. Tie up them legs, then set that turkey to the side. Now it's time to get that bag. Now don't use none of those bags you got underneath your sink. You're gonna need an oven-safe bag for this one. Place your bag in a roasting pan, add 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. Give that a shake. That's gonna create a delicious gravy at the end. Add your veggies, and then place your turkey inside that bag. Make sure you secure that bag, y'all. Twist up that top, tie it tight, and then cut 6 small slits around the bag. Bake this at 350 for 3 to 4 hours or 15 minutes per pound. Once your turkey's done, let it rest for at least 30 minutes. Tear open that bag and then get ready for the goodness. Juicy, tender, fall off the bone turkey, y'all. To get this full recipe, visit the link in my bio or go to UncleDibs.com. Now let Coach Prime say, cut the bull junk and give me one of them legs.
That's good, shorty.
Follow these steps for the juiciest, most tender Thanksgiving turkey you ever made in your life. Grab your thawed 12 to 18 pound turkey. Then we're gonna make the brine. Grab a food safe container, add a gallon of water. Then add 1 bag of my top of the line brine. This is 8 delicious herbs and spices that you need to make the juiciest, most flavorful turkey this Thanksgiving. You can get the brine from UncleDibs.com. Now place your turkey directly in that brine mixture. Make sure your turkey is fully submerged so that it soaks up all that flavor. Top it off with some ice and then throw that thing in the fridge for at least 12 to 24 hours, or 1 hour per pound. Now on the big day, let's prep our veggies. I'm using some carrots, celery, and some onion. These veggies are gonna serve as the base for our delicious gravy. Go ahead and set those in a bowl to the side. Once that turkey is done brining, rinse off all that brine solution and pat it dry. Grab that turkey by the legs and transfer it to a roasting rack. Add some olive oil all on the back side of that turkey, and then for flavor, I'm coming with that dirty bird rub. 13 herbs and spices to guarantee you make the most delicious Thanksgiving turkey. Get it from UncleDibs.com. Here's a little tip from your Unc. Season the top side last, because that's the presentation side. aka the money side. That's the side everyone's gonna see when they pull out their phones and take pictures of this delicious Thanksgiving turkey that you made. Now let's lay the foundation down for this bird. Grab a roasting rack, go ahead and put your veggies in there with a little bit of olive oil. I don't know why I'm putting them in there a handful at a time. Just dump them things in there, y'all. Add a couple garlic heads, and then grab that turkey and lay it right down on top of all those veggies. Make sure you tuck your wings underneath the bird, then stuff that cavity with some lemon, and I like to put a little apple in there too as well. Grab some butcher twine and then tie up them legs. Listen, our turkey's got class. It keeps its legs closed. Add 2 cups of chicken stock to the bottom of the pan and then 1 can of beer, but make sure you just leave a little bit for yourself. Roast your turkey in the oven at 325 and then 1 more additional hour at 375. Once your turkey is done, let it rest for at least an hour and a half. I know it sounds like a long time, but you want all those juices to stay in the turkey and not end up on your cutting board. While it's resting, cover it with some foil, and then this is a great time to go ahead and make your gravy. And there it is, y'all. That's the blueprint for a delicious Thanksgiving turkey. Let Unc know in the comments which piece you're grabbing first. Is it the wing? Is it the leg? Let me know. If you need this full recipe, go to my site, uncledibs.com. The link is in my bio.
That's good salted.
If you're looking for some juicy turkey wings like these, let your Unc show you how to make it, shawty. I'm using 2 jumbo turkey wings. We're gonna split them at the joints. Let your knife do the work, clean your wings, and then now it's time to bring that flavor. Add some oil to your turkey wings, and then for flavor, I'm using that Delta dust. The flavor is like if Papa Do's made turkey wings. Cajun flavor that's bussin', not spicy, but it's definitely got that kick. To get the flavor, all you gotta do is go to uncledibs.com. Rub that flavor all over those wings, then give them a little poke just so we can get that Cajun flavor all throughout those wings. In an oven-safe dish, add your wings, some onion, a little bit of garlic. I'm joking, a lot of garlic, and then some thyme. Next, add a cup of broth, and then this is my secret right here, some cold beer. Add a cup of that, and then go ahead and save the rest for yourself. Cover with some foil, and then bake in the oven at 400 degrees for 1 hour, then uncovered for 20 minutes. Do yourself a favor, make these wings. Full recipe in the caption, or just go to uncledibs.com.
That's good salted.
Let's make these juicy jerk turkey wings with only 1 seasoning. Here's a look at all the ingredients you need for the marinade. Add some olive oil to a blender, then some red onion, some ginger, green onion, thyme, garlic, a habanero, scotch bonnet pepper, lime juice, soy sauce, and then to top it off, use that jerk nice spice. Get it from uncledibs.com. Blend it on low and set it to the side. Grab 2 whole turkey wings, cut them in half. Throw your turkey wings in an oven-safe dish, throw that marinade on top, and then add 1 can of beer. You're gonna bake these for 90 minutes at 325, and then uncovered at 375 for 1 hour. And this is what you get.
That's fine. That's good salted. Let's make these crispy fried turkey wings with only 1 seasoning.
I mean, we fried chicken wings, so why not some turkey wings? Grab your 2 big old turkey wings, cut them into 3 parts. The flat, the drum, and the knuckle is what I like to call it. Cover it with mustard, and then this seasoning right here. Only seasoning you need, 14 herbs and spices. It's called the Dirty Bird Rub. Get it from uncledibs.com. Mix that all up. Put some more of that rub and some flour. Cover your turkey wings in that flour. Make sure it's nice and well coated just like this. Let them turkey wings rest for about 15-20 minutes. Get your oil heated up to 350. I'm using peanut oil. Go ahead and fry for about 10 to 15 minutes or until they get to an internal temperature of 165. Go ahead and plate them, serve them up how you like, and you're good to go.
Get a little hot sauce on mine. That's good salted.
Hey, forget the hassle of deep frying a whole turkey outside this year. This is the safest way to get that crispy, juicy turkey without burning down your house. Watch this. What we're doing here is a deconstructed fried turkey. We're gonna use 2 thighs, 2 legs, and 2 turkey wings to make a fried turkey platter. But first, we have to brine. In a big bowl, add 1 gallon of water and then 1 cup of this right here, the top of the line brine. This has all the spices you need to make sure you have the most juicy, most flavorful turkey this year. You can grab the brine from UncleDibs.com. Add your legs, wings, and thighs to that brine solution and then top with ice. Cover and let this marinate in the fridge for at least 12 hours. The longer, the better. What this is gonna do is gonna break down that turkey so it's nice and tender when you take that first bite. After your turkey is done brining, make sure you rinse off that brine solution and pat it bone dry. Next, grab a big bowl and then grab that flavor, the Dirty Bird Rub, 13 herbs and spices all in 1 bottle. Shake that all over that turkey, make sure it's well coated, and it's gonna bring this turkey to life. You can get the seasoning from UncleDibs.com. Now for the fry, heat your oil, and I'm using peanut oil, to around 315 degrees. Once you add the turkey, the temperature will drop. So aim to keep it around 300 degrees for the first fry. That's right, we're double frying these joints. This part's about cooking it thoroughly and gently. So we're gonna go for about 10 to 12 minutes per batch. Once your turkey pieces hit to around 150 degrees internally, pull them out and pop them on a wire rack and keep them warm in the oven at 250 degrees while you're frying up the second round. Now for the second fry, we're cranking it up to 375 degrees. The second fry is where the magic happens. This is where it gets crispy. You're looking at 3 to 5 minutes here. You'll see that skin go golden and crispy. When each piece gets that perfect golden color, it's ready. But make sure it's at 165 degrees internal temp to make sure it's fully cooked. And hey, if you want to go to an extra mile, use some of that turkey oil for the gravy. Just whisk some flour together, add some stock, and finish with a dash of that Delta dust for a bit of spice. Now we're gonna give this fried turkey the royal treatment. We're gonna plate it real nice. All I did was put down a little bit of kale, add some fresh herbs and spices, put that turkey gravy on the side, and then top it with some lemons. This is the perfect recipe if you do not have an outdoor space to fry a whole turkey, or if you don't feel like just going through all that stress on a day off from work. I mean, this is super easy. It does take a little bit of time with the double fry, but it's definitely worth it in the end. So there you have it. Crispy, crunchy, packed with all the flavor and 0 stress. Give this recipe a shot and let me know in the comments which piece you're grabbing first. Full recipes on my site, UncleDibs.com, and a happy Thanksgiving, shawty.
That's good, shawty.
When I say I want my turkey crispy on the outside and juicy on the inside, this is what I'm talking about, shawty. Save this recipe for your Thanksgiving turkey. Now, you don't need to fry a turkey or give it BBL shots to give it flavor. All you need is this right here, some natural herbs and spices, AKA that top of the line brine. Get 8 quarts of water, mix the whole bag with that water, and then submerge your turkey right in that brine mixture. Top it with some ice, put it in the fridge for 12 to 24 hours. Let that thing soak. You can get the brine from UncleDibs.com. Now it's time to season that turkey with that Dirty Bird Rub, but do it in this order. Inside first, backside next, and then save that top side for last for that seasoning. This is because it's that presentation side. You don't want it to be ugly when you present it on the table. Stuff it with some onion and some lemon, tie up them legs, and then let's get it ready for the smoker. I'm smoking this bird low and slow at 225 for 2 hours. After 2 hours, we're gonna bump that thing up to 325. I'm gonna put some of my garlic herb butter in there to melt, and then I'm gonna baste that turkey every 15 minutes so it's nice and juicy on the outside. Once that breast gets to 175 degrees Fahrenheit, go ahead and pull your turkey and let it rest for 30 minutes to an hour. Let me know in the comments if you want one of these turkeys for your Thanksgiving. I might have a surprise for you. Full recipes at UncleDibs.com.
That's good, shawty.
If Magic City catered Thanksgiving, this is the turkey they bring. Lemon pepper wet. Started this one off the right way in that top of the line brine. That's what keeps your turkey from drying out before the family even shows up. Dropped a few lemons straight into the mix too. Squeezed them, tossed them in whole. That citrus cuts through all that richness and gives that meat a clean, bright flavor. Let that sit overnight, tuck it in your fridge, and let it do what it does. The next day, rinse off that turkey, pat it dry, and hit it with some butter. Rub it all over so we make sure that seasoning sticks. And I came through with that Atlanta lemon pepper mild, ATL style. Go ahead and hit that on all sides. No dry spots, no shortcuts. Get the seasoning from UncleDibs.com. Hey, listen, it started raining, so I didn't get a shot of me putting it on the smoker, but trust me, put it on there at 275 for about 4 hours. While it smoked, I mixed up that wet sauce, butter, some lemon, some of that lemon pepper hot, and that's where the magic begins. Start basting it towards the end, brushing that sauce all over till that skin turns nice and glossy. Pull that turkey off your smoker, and now we let it rest. Hit it with a little bit more of that wet sauce before you slice into it, and just like that, you got a lemon pepper wet turkey. Look at that drip. But you know I had to get my favorite part, that turkey leg with no drama. Get this full recipe from Uncle Dibs.
That's good, shorty.
Forget the ham, we're smoking honey-baked hens this year. All that shine and sweetness of a honey-baked ham, but smaller, juicier, and with that crispy skin that makes folks stare at the plate like it's gold. We're starting with 2 Cornish hens, a little bit of olive oil, and a heavy coat of that Dirty Bird rub. 13 herbs and spices all in one bottle. It's basically flavor insurance for the holidays. Grab it from UncleDibs.com. After you season both sides of your hens, let it sit for about 30 minutes so that seasoning sticks. We're gonna let these hens roll low and slow at 275. We're not trying to rush anything. While that smoke's working, we're gonna start building our glaze. That's a little bit of butter, honey, some of that Memphis Bussin' barbecue rub, which has that nice brown sugar baby taste to it. Some spicy mustard and a fresh squeeze of some orange juice. And you know, since it's the holidays, we gotta add a little something to that sauce. Sneak in a little bit of your favorite bourbon in that sauce, mix it in together, trust me. After your hens have been cooking for 1 hour, every 20 minutes, hit them with that glaze till that skin looks like glass. Then increase your temperature to 350 and let that glaze caramelize. That's the moment it goes from good to ain't no leftovers. Once those hens hit 165, pull them off, let them rest, and hit them with that final shine. That's your holiday centerpiece right there. Sweet, smoky, and way easier than it looks. Now I know what you're thinking. Unc, I don't got a smoker. Don't worry, shawty. You can run this same recipe in the oven too. Comment below if you need the directions. Unc's got you covered.
That's good, shorty.
Grab some unsalted room temperature butter. Season it with that Dirty Bird rub. Get it at UncleDibs.com and mix it on in. Set it to the side. Next, we're gonna cut the backbone of the chicken out. Flip it over. Press down to break the breastbone of the chicken so it lays flatter. Next, take that Dirty Bird butter, put it under the skin. Then season up that bird with that Dirty Bird rub. Get all crevices and sides. Give it a flip and do the exact same thing on the other side. Next, grab a large cast iron dish, add some onion, red potatoes, and then some herbs. I'm using sage, rosemary, and garlic. Season up your veggies, place the chicken on top, and then throw it in the oven at 375 for at least an hour. You good to go.
That's good, shorty.
What if I told you the only thing you needed to make a juicy chicken like this was this bag right here? Check out how I make my roasted chicken. Save this recipe for your Easter menu. Grab your vegetables, potatoes, carrots, and onion, slather them down with some oil, and then use this seasoning right here, the Delta Dust. Get it from UncleDibs.com. Next, grab your chicken. Melt 1 stick of butter, and then grab this seasoning right here, the Dirty Bird rub. 13 herbs and spices all in one bottle so that you don't have to go on an Easter egg hunt trying to find spices to season up your chicken. Get it from UncleDibs.com. After you pour all that flavor over your bird, it's time to stuff it with some aromatics, some lemon, some sage, some thyme, some garlic. Don't forget the rosemary. Set that chicken to the side, grab a casserole dish, and then now it's time to grab that bag. Now, this isn't one of those bags from underneath your sink. This is an oven-safe bag specifically used for cooking. Put 1 tablespoon of flour in that bag, shake it all around, and then add your veggies. Next, lay your chicken right down on top. Any of that reserved butter, go ahead and pour it over your chicken, and then pour some chicken broth in the bag. Tie your bag into a knot. Make sure you cut a couple slits on top of the bag for some ventilation. Bake for 2 hours at 350. After your chicken has rested for 10 minutes, cut away the bag, and then dinner is served. Now, when I say this chicken is juicy and bussin', look how tender this is. Fall off the bone chicken. That drumstick just came right off the bone. Full recipe in the caption or go to the link in my bio. That's good, Shorty. Everyone needs a go-to roasted chicken recipe. This is perfect for Easter. This is perfect for the holidays. This is perfect for Soul Food Sundays. So listen up. Go ahead and oil up your chicken, olive oil, all over your bird. And then for flavor, I'm using that straight drop rub. All the flavor you need in one bottle. It's got paprika, it's got salt, it's got garlic, it's got some more stuff in there. If you want it, go ahead and get it from UncleDibs.com. Season up your bird, all sides. I like seasoning the back side of the chicken first because the presentation side is going to get the most love. So you want to take your time with that at the end so that you don't make any indentions or scrape any of the seasoning off. So season the back side first and the top side last. Now we're going to stuff it with some aromatics. I'm just throwing in some lemon, some herbs. I'm using thyme, rosemary, and sage. Just stuff that right in the cavity, and this is going to have your kitchen smelling absolutely amazing. Go ahead and tie up your chicken because our chicken is classy, not trashy, so we keep them legs closed. Throw this in the fridge for at least an hour, overnight if you can, but just for at least an hour. Now, the main reason why I like this dish is because it's one pot. One pot means less dishes and less stress, so I'm all about the one pot game. So it's veggies and chicken all in one pot. So whatever your favorite veggies are, I'm using potatoes, I'm cutting those up, carrots, celery, also some onion. Whatever your favorite veggies are, go ahead and throw that in the mix and you'll be good to go. But make sure you add that garlic too, okay? You're just gonna cut off the tips of the garlic so that they're exposed. That garlic really sets this dish off, so do not skip that part. In my kitchen, we do season our veggies, so hit them with a little olive oil, and then once again, I'm using that straight drop all-purpose rub to flavor them up, give them a nice toss, a nice mix, and then go ahead and set them to the side. Make sure you preheat your oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. We're gonna be using a Dutch oven, add a little olive oil, and then grab that chicken and throw it in your Dutch oven. Right now, we're just browning the chicken, we're not cooking it. We're just getting it some color, okay? So just hit each side of the chicken, the front, back, side to side, 5 minutes each, just to get a little bit of color on the bird, okay? It's a little tricky. You might need to use a tongue or a spoon or two, but just make sure you're gentle and you don't break your bird. Now you see all those brown bits at the bottom of that Dutch oven? That's called flavor, AKA fine, but it's literally just flavor. You want that, okay? So save that, go ahead and add some unsalted butter, then add your veggies right on top. And then to set this thing off, we're gonna add a little bit of wine. All right, you can use whatever white wine you got. This is just what I had on hand. It's a Pinot Noir Rosé, but you can use chicken stock if you don't have wine, or if you don't wanna use wine. Now we're gonna add our chicken back to our Dutch oven. We're gonna throw it in the oven at 400 degrees for 40 minutes. After 40 minutes, remove your lid, and then we're gonna have these nice drippings at the bottom of the Dutch oven. You wanna grab a little brush and baste your chicken. Throw this back in the oven at 425 for about 20 to 25 minutes. Make sure it's uncovered when you throw it back in there because you want that nice browning, just like this. Remove your chicken, and then throw your veggies back in the oven, turn the oven off, just so that the veggies can finish cooking. And then go ahead and slice up your chicken after it rests for at least 20 to 30 minutes so that you don't get a whole bunch of juices leaking out of your chicken. We want that flavor to stay in there, not out of there. Grab your favorite serving dish. Go ahead and throw your veggies right on top. And then on top of that, add your chicken. And then remember those lemons that we stuffed in the chicken? You can throw those right on top too. Add a little parsley, whatever greenery you want to make it pop. and dinner is served. Juicy chicken, veggies right there with it as well. You're good to go, shawty.
That's good, shawty.
If you've never made mac and cheese before, do not practice on Thanksgiving Day. Don't worry, Unc's got you covered. Watch this. Start with the basics. Some fresh cheddar cheese, a little Parmesan, and some mozzarella. That's all you need. No 10 cheese TikTok madness. Melt your butter, whisk in your flour, get it nice and smooth, then bring in that whole milk until it starts to thicken up. Next, it's time to add the cheese. Low and slow, let it melt and turn into that creamy cheese sauce that everybody loves. Once your cheese starts to melt in that sauce, it's time to add that flavor. We're going to start off with a little bit of mustard powder, just a little bit, and then a scoop of that straight drop rub. That's all you need for that flavor foundation. Next, fold in your pasta and make sure every piece gets coated and the whole thing comes together right there on the stovetop in one pot. You see this? You don't need 10 cheeses or a 2-hour bake to make a good mac and cheese. The holidays are already stressful by itself. Keep it simple and you'll be good.
That's good, shawty.
If you never sat in church on a Wednesday night for 2 hours while your mom had choir rehearsal, I don't want to hear about your mac and cheese. This is my mother's mac and cheese recipe, y'all. Here it goes. Make sure you grate your own sharp cheddar cheese. Save what you can't grate for the sauce later. Grate at least 2 cups of that, and then at least half a cup of shredded mozzarella cheese. And what I like to do when I'm shredding any type of cheese, I put a paper towel down just so it's easier to transfer from the paper towel into a bowl. This makes cleanup a lot quicker. Now we got the hard part out the way. Boil your macaroni in salted water until al dente. Drain and set aside. To make the cheese sauce, melt the butter in a saucepan over medium heat. Stir in flour a little bit at a time to make your roux. Now gradually whisk in evaporated milk, stirring constantly to avoid any lumps. Now the most important part is adding that flavor at this point. We're gonna add that Delta dust, which is gonna be a nice little Cajun kick. Not too spicy, but it's got the paprika, it's got the salt, it's got everything that you need in there to make this the perfect mac and cheese. And yes, my mom approves. You can get the seasoning from UncleDibs.com. At this point, start adding your mozzarella and your cheddar cheese little bits at a time, stirring, and once it's melted, add more cheese, just a handful each time. One of the common mistakes people make with making mac and cheese is they make way too much cheese sauce to the point where it's like a soup. You just need to make a nice coating for that mac and cheese so it's nice and thick. Set aside some of your cheese because we're going to use it as a topping for the rest of the mac and cheese. Next, add 2 beaten eggs to the cheese sauce and keep whisking together to form a nice smooth paste. Add a couple more dashes of that Delta dust, and now it's time to assemble. Grease up your casserole dish with some butter, old school style. Add your drained macaroni to the dish, and then this is the fun part. Go ahead and drizzle that cheese sauce all over your mac and cheese. Only use half of it, give it a mix, and then use the other half for the rest of the mac and cheese and give everything a nice mix to combine. Cover everything from edge to edge with the rest of your cheese. We're gonna bake this at 375, covered with foil for 45 minutes. Then remove the foil and then broil for 3 to 5 minutes just so we can get that nice browned top. And there you have it, my mama's mac and cheese recipe straight from her kitchen. Now you can make it in your home. At any Thanksgiving that we had, especially back in North Carolina, the #1 question is, when is BB bringing her mac and cheese? Now let me know what you're using for this. Are you using a fork or spoon for your mac? I'm a fork guy. I like to get straight to it, not play no games. Full recipes on my site, UncleDibs.com.
That's good, shawty. Let's make this cast iron mac and cheese with only 1 seasoning.
First, go ahead and cook your pasta. Melt 2 sticks of butter over medium heat in a cast iron skillet. Then start adding your flour a little bit at a time to create your roux. Then add your shredded cheese. Make sure you shred your own cheese. Start to stir that in along with some milk. Continue that process until you get a nice creamy cheesy mixture like this. For flavor, I'm using that King Creole Original Blend. Get it from UncleDibs.com. Go ahead and add your pasta back to that cheese mix a little bit at a time. Stir it up, then add your cheeses. I like a little bit of mozzarella, some Colby Jack, and cheddar. Once you're all cheesed out, go ahead and throw this in the oven at 375 for 45 minutes. then this is what you get. Nice cast iron mac and cheese.
That's good, shorty.
They said to eat light this holiday, so I fried cabbage instead. But this ain't that greasy, soggy, bacon-filled cabbage Auntie used to make. I kept it clean. No pork, no heavy butter, just turkey andouille sausage for that smoke, a little olive oil, and the right seasonings. Sausage goes in the pan first, let it brown for about 4 or 5 minutes. Pull it out, then drop in your white onion, your bell peppers, let them saute for about 3 minutes. Then hit it with that minced garlic for that aroma. Now add that cabbage a handful at a time, let it wilt before adding any more. Season each layer with that King Creole no salt blend and then that Delta dust. Don't rush it, let it cook covered about 10 to 12 minutes till tender, but still got that bite. At the end, bring that sausage back in, hit it with a little splash of apple cider vinegar and toss everything together for a few minutes so that steam picks up all of that flavor. No grease, no guilt, just clean, flavorful cabbage with soul.
That's good, shorty. Let's make these honey garlic roasted carrots with only one seasoning.
Here's a look at all the ingredients you need for this dish. Melt some butter over medium heat. Then add your honey and then your minced garlic. Mix that so it's well combined. Then add your carrots. Now we're gonna spice this up with my jerk nice spice. It's got everything in there from allspice, cinnamon, and a little Scotch bonnet. Get it at UncleDibs.com. Throw these in the oven at 425 for 20 minutes. Try this easy last-minute dish for Thanksgiving.
That's good, shorty.
I turned Cheddar Bay biscuits into mashed potatoes, and you don't need Red Lobster for this. Let Unc show you how to make them. Start by peeling your red potatoes and dropping them into salted, boiling water. All you need for them to be is fork tender. While those boil, let's make that sauce. Melt your butter, pour in some heavy cream and a splash of milk, hit it with a little garlic paste and let everything warm up together. And make sure you don't forget about your bay. Add that straight drop rub, season up that butter mixture and set it to the side. Drain your potatoes and mash them while they're hot. Once they're smooth, pour in that warm buttercream mix and let it work. Then add your sharp cheddar cheese. Now you got Cheddar Bay mashed potatoes. Drop them in a bowl, run it under the broiler just for a couple of minutes for a little color, then finish with some fresh chives. Now all I need to know is if you're using a fork or spoon for these. Let me know in the comments and get this full recipe from UncleDibs.com. Cheddar Bay mashed potatoes, the sleeper hit of your whole Thanksgiving.
That's good, shorty.
If deviled eggs went to heaven, they look just like this. Let Unc show you how to do it. Start with a dozen eggs in a pot of cold water. Bring it to a gentle boil. And then once they're cooked, pull them off the heat and let them cool while we handle the shrimp. Season your shrimp with that Delta dust and a little King Creole blend. That's that 1-2 punch right there. Herbs and spices without overdoing it. Get them in a hot pan with a little bit of butter and oil. And don't shy away from that flame. About 4 or 5 minutes on each side, let them rest. Oh, and if you have any leftover bacon from breakfast, this is a good time to chop that up because we're using that too. Next, slice your eggs open and pop out that yolk. Mash them up till they're smooth, then add some mayo, some spicy mustard, and a splash of apple cider vinegar. And you know we gotta season our eggs too. Add some more of that King Creole blend for that base flavor and that Delta dust for a little bit of kick. Stir it till it's creamy. Now I don't need no fancy piping bag. I just use a Ziploc bag, snip the corner, and pipe that filling right in each egg. Top each egg with a little bit of shrimp, some fresh dill, some of those bacon bits left over from breakfast, and you are good to go, shorty. Get everything you need from UncleDibs.com.
That's good, shorty.
Let me introduce you to my KFC greens. No, not the chicken place. I'm talking kale and fresh collards. But first, let's get our herbs together. We're gonna start off with the garlic. Here's a little trick to getting your skins off your garlic. Put your garlic cloves in between 2 bowls, give them a shake, and those skins come right off. Mince up your garlic, then set it to the side. Next, we're gonna chop up 1 large onion. The garlic and the onion is gonna serve as the base flavor for these KFC greens. Now, speaking of greens, let's go ahead and prep these collards. Go ahead and cut the stems off, roll up those collard greens into a nice tight cigar, and then go ahead and cut them into bite-sized pieces just as such. Add them to a bowl, and then do the same thing with your kale. Cut the stems off, and then cut the kale into nice bite-sized pieces. Add them to a bowl, and now it's time to wash everything. We're gonna wash these greens over cold water and then add 2 capfuls of apple cider vinegar. And just agitate your greens underneath the water and then let them sit for at least 30 minutes to an hour in the water, submerged. After your greens have been sitting and it's time to rinse them underneath some cold water, just grab your greens and your kale, a handful at a time, rinse them under cold water, put them in a strainer just to make sure you're not mixing the clean greens with the dirty greens. Add your kale and collards to a separate bowl, and then look at that vibrant green color. We're gonna keep that color all throughout this cook. I'm gonna show you how. First, in a large pot, medium heat, add your onion, add your garlic, and then add 1 smoked turkey leg. And then for that seasoning, I'm using that Delta Dust. For the flavor, think Papados in a bottle. You can get it from UncleDibs.com. Next, add your broth, bring to a boil, cover, and then simmer on low for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, add your KFC greens, your kale and fresh collard greens. Then, make sure you add some more of that Delta Dust. Stir to make sure everything's well combined, but here's the trick. To make sure your greens don't get all ashy and gray looking, do not cover your pot. Cook uncovered, medium-low heat, 40 minutes, stirring occasionally, and you'll have nice, vibrant greens that look just like this. You can even tear off a little bit of that turkey leg and add it to your greens. To get this full recipe, go to UncleDibs.com or just visit the link in my bio. Oh yeah, don't forget that hot sauce.
That's good, shorty.
I want you to tell everybody about your relationship with collard greens before we get into it, okay? I'm gonna start getting everything together for you.
Okay, collards and greens, I mean, that's something you have every Sunday. Maybe you have green beans also, but Mother and Daddy had a garden, and everybody we knew had a garden, so we probably had greens that were picked from our garden or somebody else's anytime we had greens. I really don't remember Mother shopping for greens at the grocery store.
What's up?
And there, that's a good memory since I've been an adult, that Mother would go with me to pick greens around holiday. That's a real good memory. I wasn't thinking so fondly of it when I was growing up, because who wants to be in the garden? We didn't, but we certainly enjoyed the fresh greens. That's another thing. You can, if you're buying your collards or your turnip greens at grocery store or farmer's market, you can taste them raw and see what kind of a flavor they're gonna have cooked. Just pinch off a little and taste it raw. These collards we got at a kind of a specialty grocer here in Houston, and they're very, it looks like young greens, because it's not that thick, really heavy green that you think of when you have collards, but it's tender. I think they're young. And as I'm tasting it tastes more bitter and savory. I think it's gonna be great. I like bitter and savory. Some people don't, and this is like such a no-no to me. If you put sugar in greens, no. But if that's what you like, you grew up doing that, that takes you back, fine, but you won't ever find me doing that.
No?
Nope, I love the bitter, and if I taste the green and it doesn't seem to pop like I know the flavor ought to be, I normally buy some broccoli rabe. Sometimes it's called broccolini. That's so bitter, and it goes nicely with almost any green. I use it with collards, I use it with turnip greens, mustard greens, and cabbage. Sometimes if you don't have the flavor you need, that it's, real fresh greens, broccoli rabe, broccolini, add that to it, just a little bit of it. And as far as the stems, I took the toughest part of the stems off of these, and then I added it, I chopped some of it. This has still the skinny part of the stalk on it. Then I chopped some of the thick part, because there's so much flavor in that. And I put that back in, not all of them, but I put it back in. So that'll help you with the flavor. Now, we have, I'm gonna start warming some olive oil so I can cook my onions.
We want it on high heat, what?
Medium high heat. I'll have garlic, onions and garlic.
Got the garlic right there.
And I wash these greens already.
What's your washing process? Because that's a huge thing.
Yeah.
People like to talk about. Some people get freaked out when they see people put greens in the sink. Some people think, you know, you put them in a strainer. Like, what is the washing process?
Well, I wouldn't freak out. I would use Clorox spray to clean the sink first. Always do that. Clean both sinks.
Clean your sinks with Clorox. Do not clean your greens with Clorox.
Right. And rinse that down before you start with your greens. And I really leaf by leaf, because greens can be so gritty with dirt, and also people have handled them. So leaf by leaf, and this takes some time, but you got to do it. You don't want to, worst thing to do is bite into some grit, and you don't want to do that. So clean each leaf and put it over for draining. When that's clean and drained, I line the leaves up just so it makes the chopping of the stem easier. So the stem would have been down here, I chop it there, and then I got a handful of good greens over there, put back in to the mix. When the onions and garlic and olive oil are ready, I'll put the greens down. The greens have so much water in it that it'll start cooking away right away. So this is probably gonna cook down. This is 3 pounds, and it's probably gonna cook down to look like 1 pound when it's done.
All right, so so what are we gonna use? We're using a Dutch oven for this?
We're using a Dutch oven, but we're not gonna use the lid, and I'll tell you about that later as we go.
Okay, so we got that heating up too as well. For these collard greens, like she said, we just got our greens here. We got our chopped onions too as well. You're gonna use minced garlic or whole garlic?
I'm gonna use minced.
How many cloves do you think
That's
that
about 3 cloves,
So like we said before,
3 large cloves.
if you love garlic, you can use more. If you can't do garlic, or somebody that you're cooking for can't do it, boom. And then we need broth too?
Yes, we'll need some broth, but right now we need some olive oil for this pot.
Okay. Olive oil in the pan, in the Dutch oven?
Yes, because we're gonna saute the.
And this is quick greens. A lot of people think it takes 5 days to make some greens. It doesn't. All right. This is really the quickest, best way to do it, and still get that flavor. What seasoning do you want to use for this? Some more Delta dust?
I want to use some Delta dust, just a little. But greens, I'm telling you, they don't need to cook all day. You probably are going to be a half an hour at the stove for these to get right.
And then let them rock?
Yeah, you don't have to overcook it though. They'll be fine. Once you get the flavor you like, and that stem is not tough anymore, they're ready. They don't need to cook all day.
No smoked turkey, no ham hock, nothing?
I don't do that. You can if you want to. I use the onions and the garlic. That's some flavor there. And I'll use just enough chicken broth to let it boil and simmer down to the doneness it needs to be. You can use the ham hock, whatever, some smoked wings, but you know, people have different needs right now, different tastes, and even people who like the smokiness of a ham hock also like this chicken broth.
So this is perfect if you got kids and they're vegetarians, or if you are vegan, whatever. This is a meat-free, no meat at all, no pork, nothing recipe. So this is an actual great alternative to what, because a lot of times we go to a soul food spot and somebody's like, oh, I don't eat meat or anything, right. And then they be, oh, just have some vegetables. All the vegetables got pork in it. Right. All the vegetables got chicken in it. All the vegetables got turkey in it. So with that being said, this is a great alternative. There's a million recipes out there with the ham hocks and the smoked turkey. So this is a alternative way, different way, but also a great way. It's also my mom's way, which, I mean, how can you beat that as far as making these greens, okay? So we got our olive oil heated up, yeah? Yep. What's next?
Ready to start sauteing some onions and garlic.
So this is gonna be the best smelling part of the show. So just scratch your phone and you'll be able to smell what we're cooking, okay? You want the garlic or onion first?
I'd like the onion, please.
There you go.
Thank you.
And it's really important too, ahead of time, chop everything up ahead of time so you're not having to run back and forth. And that's when mistakes get made and everything like that, and you might accidentally cut yourself, you know what I mean? So just chop everything up ahead of time, you know what I mean?
Garlic, please.
All right, garlic, there you go.
I chopped a whole large onion, but I don't think I'm gonna use it all, so.
Okay. So how much you think you use? Just a half?
A little more than half.
All right.
Okay, do you have a whole onion over there, the size I used?
Yeah.
Okay, let's show the people.
So this is, she used about a little bit more than just half of this, and this is yellow onion, right?
Right.
So just yellow onion, do you prefer yellow or just because I had yellow?
For this, I prefer yellow.
Okay. So just a little bit more than half of a yellow onion for that. And this is where that smell this is the smell that I remember growing up. You know, especially like how early would you say you would start Thanksgiving dinner?
Oh boy, maybe like 8 in the morning.
Really?
One memory, I think the kids had too when we lived in New Jersey. The Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade happened on Thanksgiving. I'm a person, one of the things I like least entertainment-wise is a parade. I can take it or leave it. Parade and fireworks, I can watch it on TV, I'll be fine enough. So,
oh, it smells good.
their dad would take the kids to the Macy's parade, and I would be alone for probably 4 hours to get the dinner going. And that's a good memory I like to have.
Yeah, so you grew up like, you know, maybe less than an hour from New York City. So we were able to just drive right into the city. And then of course with traffic and everything like that, that's a nice 4 or 5 hour window with no kids running around.
Right.
By the time we got back, football's already going on.
Smells
So
in the kitchen.
yeah, one thing I would, the memory, because like, you know, smells can kind of unlock memories. I think always the first thing you would do, or you might have even done it the day before, would be the deviled eggs. And the deviled eggs would just be chilling in the fridge because you don't want to serve hot deviled eggs, you want them kind of cold. And so the deviled eggs would just be chilling in the fridge. And I remember just going and cherry picking deviled eggs throughout the course of the day, waiting for that turkey. You want me to hold this?
I'm gonna start putting it in.
Okay. So this is unlocking some memories. So you're just doing a handful of greens at a time?
Yeah, I'm gonna put them all in.
Okay.
Because the greens still have water on them from being washed and rinsed. So this water's gonna cook right out of these greens. I don't have any extra liquid in the pan yet. Just have the olive oil. I'm not gonna cover them, and here's why.
Listen to this, y'all.
When you cover greens, they lose their beautiful color. Look at that live green
Look at the
color. And when you do that, when you cover them, it's gonna turn gray. And it's gonna not seem like it's fresh greens.
It's gonna be ashy.
That ashy gray. And we don't want that. They're gonna cook just as well or better with the lid off. I'm gonna use these tongs to keep the greens moving, get it all on that onions and olive oil under there. Just move them around the pan.
And as that heat starts to, you know, get everything, it's going to start to, of course, shrink, and she'll be able to move everything around. But that's one of the most important things I learned about the greens, learning from my mom, is to keep them uncovered while you cook them, and it'll maintain that rich green color. I mean, they're called greens. Instead of looking, you see those greens that look like they've been sitting out all day at a buffet, and they like black or gray. The key thing is to keep them uncovered. What kind of greens are they? These are collard greens, right?
These are just collards, but many times I'll just make turnip greens mixed with some mustard. It depends on what green looks the best when you go to the market. I personally prefer turnip greens because they're bitter. I like a bitter green, but even, you know, some greens you might not be so familiar with, like Swiss chard. I try that sometimes, mixing with the greens, or just as they are. That really doesn't take so long at all to mix that and serve that with something you know you like.
Yeah, so, you know, those are just little tips of the trade. There's one thing about a recipe, but there's another thing when it comes to these little nuances and hacks and things like that. And I guess that's why I didn't really care for collard greens too much growing up, because they were so bitter. But now that I know you were mixing turnips in there a lot of the times, the bitterness as a kid, I didn't really care for them. There's a lot of things as a kid I didn't really care for. I didn't like spicy food a lot. She would get buffalo wings, like from like a takeout spot or whatever. She would get the buffalo wings, and then she'll take like some, where we at? Like some Crystal's hot sauce. And she would put hot sauce on the wings, some more hot sauce on the wings, throw them in the oven, like broil them in the oven on 400
for like 5-10 minutes, and that'll just be the spiciest wings. I used to hate that. Now I love it. Now I love spicy. I love bitter and things like that. And this is things about.
This is mature taste. Really.
Someone said, so you ever add watercress? So you don't ever do that?
No.
Okay. My grandmother showed me how to cook. There you go. Who would you say taught you to cook greens? How to cook greens? Your grandma, your mother?
Grandmother.
Yeah, my grandma, her mom.
Actually, they did cover and cook all day. That's the way I learned it, but this is what I've come to do.
Right.
Can you turn it up a little bit?
Yeah.
We're gonna add the chicken broth now.
Okay.
Already this is cooked down enough so it's not spilling out of the pot. So we're ready now to splash some chicken stock. I'm gonna probably use half a box of this, which would be about a cup, I think.
Okay, so a cup of chicken stock to start off with in the collards. Keep it uncovered, like she said. Talking about tales from back in the day, North Carolina, when my mom grew up.
Yeah, it sounds all wonderful and a great memory right now, but it's true. Our summer breaks was shelling peas and canning peaches, canning apples, peeling stuff for mother to freeze, and she would be like, "You're gonna appreciate this in the fall." We're like, "No, we won't, mother. We can just get them in a can, okay?" So
Yeah, I mean.
I appreciate it now too.
Okay, so
This
we're
is cooked down half the pot already. See how it disappears? So when you're buying it, if you
Let me bring this over to
shopping for greens, you maybe get,
see how vibrant green that is, y'all? Look at that.
this is like 3 pounds. It goes to easily 1 pound after it's cooked down. So think of that while you're buying. Think how many people you're cooking it for.
Some more Delta dust. Here you go. And that's got that paprika. That's really what she's looking for in there. So we got the greens going right now at about high heat, and you just keep them like that, or
I would turn the heat down a little bit. Let them cook.
what? So like low?
More medium.
Okay.
That'll be fine.
Need me to stir them or anything?
Oh, you can just pick it up, move it around a little bit. You see how much it cooked down to?
Yeah, it's like less than half,
Yeah.
but it's enough. You know what I
In a
mean?
moment, I'll taste it for seasonings again, but I think it should be just right.
Yeah, they look
You
great.
just need to cook a little more so it'll become tender.
All right, perfect.
You gotta be tempted to put the lid on that pot. Don't do it. Don't do it.
That's my mom over there talking. She's just taking a little TO.
Let's check it out, see what we have here.
And so after it reduces down like that, how much longer do you need to cook it?
You taste it and see if it's tender enough for you. You know.
Oh, so it's more about the feel than it is the taste. Well, it's about both, but more about the feel.
The taste, you already know. The feel, the degree of tenderness. Not for greens. You really do want them to be nice and tender. You don't need to struggle through a thick stalk.
Pretty much just cook them to the feel. Like, you don't want that snap. You want it to be a nice, clean bite almost. You know what I mean? So just got to go off that feel, cook as you go, and you'll be good to go. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I hope you use that code. So
That's good, Shawty.
I can hear you.
That's good, Shawty.
That's good, shawty. So listen, if she's saying it's good and all she needed was a little pinch of salt and some Delta dust, it is that easy.
And look
that
how
easy.
quick that was. These are ready.
Look at these grains, y'all.
Ready. About a half an hour, right?
Was it either? Now we got our collard greens over here. Someone take a screenshot of this. Mom, I appreciate all the love, y'all. Here, let's do that heart thing together. You know how to do that?
Yeah.
You know how to do that?
Yeah.
There you go. Print it up. Much love, y'all.